Hello students, we are in chapter civics, first chapter, the Constitution of India. We have already discussed in lecture first and second about what is constitution, what is the use of constitution, main principles of constitution. Now, in this lecture, we will discuss about the fundamental rights and duties of the Constitution. First topic, fundamental rights. Fundamental rights are considered to be the soul of the Constitution. It is mentioned from the Article 12 to 35. These are the basic rights, means these are very important for us and for the well-being of Indian citizens. The fundamental rights are included in part 3rd of the Constitution, and no organ of the government violate our fundamental rights. And Indian judiciary has the supreme power to protect our fundamental rights. There are 6 fundamental rights. First is right to equality. Right to equality means samanta ka adhikar. We all are equal before the law. All the citizens are equal. Law does not discriminate between rich or poor, or the black and the white. All citizens are equal opportunity for government jobs also. However, some seats are reserved for SC, STs and OBC. Untouchability will not be tolerated in any form, and everyone will have an equal access to the public property. That meaning that everyone use public property. No one can be prevented from using ponds, wells, schools on the basis of caste, creed and sex. Second, right to freedom, swatantrata ka adhikar. The Indian Constitution provides the right to freedom in many ways. All the citizens of India shall have the right to freedom of speech and to express their views. We are all having the right to assemble peacefully but without arms. We are all also free to form our unions and sub-unions. Indian citizens have the right to move to go to any part of India freely, and they can settle anywhere in any part of India. Third right, right to freedom of religion, swatantrata dharm ki. India is a land of many religions. So the constitution provide people the freedom of religion, but it cannot be used to destroy public order or morality. Every citizen of India has the right to follow or adopt एनी रिलीजन ऑफ चॉइस. हम फ्री हैं कोई भी धर्म मानने को, हम किसी भी धर्म की पूजा कर सकते हैं. एवरी रिलीजन हैज अ गिवन इक्वल रिस्पेक्ट and we have to right to impose our religious beliefs. Now, fourth, right against exploitation, शोषण के खिलाफ अधिकार. In order to save the people from exploitation, the government of India made this right. In this right, there are several conditions, means implemented minimum wages for the labor, banned trafficking, selling and buying of human beings and forced labors are banned, and children under 14 years of age cannot be employed in factories or mines. Fifth, right to constitutional remedies. This is very important right out of all these rights, because this right saves us from to move means it states that every citizen of India is entitled to move to the Supreme Court or the High Court or any other court at district if our fundamental rights are snatched away or taken by an individual or a group of individuals. It is a responsibility of the court to protect the right of the citizen except during emergency. Last, cultural and educational right. India is a vast country where people of diverse cultures and traditions live together. So we have the right to safeguard our culture, language and script. They also have the right to open their educational institution. Means we can open our educational institution. The Constitution of India states that no citizen shall be denied admission to any educational institution maintained by the state or central government. In this way, we have discussed fundamental rights. There are 6 fundamental rights. Now, next, fundamental rights as human rights. We can say these rights are, the fundamental rights are very important for us. Every citizen is entitled to some rights that have to be protected. By observing our surrounding, we come to know that people have always fought against injustice and inequality done to them. Every struggle waged by human beings indicate that their effort to create a better surrounding for their survival. So, fundamental rights we call also human rights or natural rights. These human rights are of several types. Some of them are like right to work, हमें काम का अधिकार है, राइट टू सेफ एंड हेल्दी वर्किंग कंडीशन, हमको एक अच्छे माहौल में काम करने का हमारा अधिकार है, राइट टू इक्वालिटी बिफोर द लॉ, हम कानून के सामने हम सब इक्वल हैं, राइट टू सोशल सिक्योरिटी एंड इंश्योरेंस, हमें समाज में हमारी सिक्योरिटी की ज़रूरत है, एंड राइट टू हेल्थ, सबको हेल्दी रहने का अधिकार है. दीज आर ऑल ह्यूमन राइट्स. Many times question comes in our mind ki is it human rights and fundamental rights are different? No, they are not, because all fundamental rights are also human rights, and all these rights are protected in Universal Declaration of Human Rights adopted by the UN General Assembly on 10th December in 1948. Our constitution faithfully reflects all these human rights. Now, National Human Rights Commission. National Human Rights Commission in India was constituted in 1993 to guarantee the citizens their rights. This commission was set up in 1993 under the Act. An act was the National Human Rights Act. Now, who are the member in this National Human Right? So, it is composed by former Chief Justice of the Supreme Court of India along with the former Chief Justice of High Court and two other prominent members who have the best knowledge of these human rights. Means इसके members कौन होते हैं? Former Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, he is chairperson of this commission, and along with former Chief Justice of High Court and two other members who have the best knowledge of human rights. And what are the functions? Their functions to protect our these human rights, and they also complement the functioning of Supreme Court and High Court in keeping an act that obstruct the benefit of human right and encourage the non-government organization in protecting human rights. Now, next is fundamental duties. Fundamental duties. These duties were added in 1976 by 42nd Amendment when Indira Gandhi was our Prime Minister. Duties. Kartavya, मौलिक कर्तव्य. One is fundamental rights and one is fundamental duties. We can go to court for our fundamental rights, but we cannot go for duties to any court. It is our duty. It is means हमारे कर्तव्य जो हमारी कंट्री के लिए हैं, that are fundamental. Rights and duties are reciprocal. Every right carries a duty with it. In return for fundamental right, the society expects the citizen to perform certain duties. Example, if the constitution gives us right to speech, एग्जाम्पल कि हमारे कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन ने हमको अधिकार दिया है बोलने का, राइट टू स्पीच, लेकिन हमारी ये ड्यूटी है कि हम कुछ ऐसा ना बोल दें कि किसी को कुछ हर्ट हो जाए. ऐसे ही हमारे कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन ने बोला राइट टू असेंबल एनीवेयर पीसफुली, लेकिन ऐसा हमारी ड्यूटी है कि हम ऐसा कुछ ना कर दें कि झगड़े हो, मार पिटाई हो, ये हमारी ड्यूटी होती है. सो फंडामेंटल राइट्स and duties are reciprocal. Now, there are many fundamental rights. I am giving few examples. First, to respect the national flag and the national anthem. हमको अपने national flag की respect करनी चाहिए और national anthem की. Second, to preserve the rich cultural heritage of the country. हमको अपनी संस्कृति की रक्षा करनी चाहिए, उसकी respect करनी चाहिए. Third, abide by the constitution and respect its idols and institution. हमको अपने constitution की रिस्पेक्ट करनी चाहिए और उनके हिसाब से चलना चाहिए. फोर्थ, टू डिफेंड द कंट्री एंड प्रमोट द स्पिरिट ऑफ ब्रदरहुड. हमें अपने कंट्री की रक्षा करनी चाहिए और भाईचारे की स्पिरिट को बढ़ाना चाहिए। टू मेंटेन एंड प्रिजर्व पब्लिक प्रॉपर्टीज, पब्लिक प्रॉपर्टी को मेंटेन करना चाहिए, नुकसान नहीं करना चाहिए, ये रोड, ये पार्क, इन सबको से नुकसान नहीं करे। नेक्स्ट, टू डेवलप साइंटिफिक टेम्पर, साइंटिफिक टेम्पर रखना चाहिए। नेक्स्ट, टू प्रोटेक्ट एंड कंजर्व अवर नेचुरल environment. So there are many, but we discuss few. Now next topic is secularism. In this chapter it is given in broad sense. Secularism means dharm nirpeksh, when there is no difference between any religion, and our constitution allow each and every citizen of India the freedom to live by his or her religious belief and practice as they interpret them. The term secularism emerged during our freedom struggle also, and we saw in 1947 it found itself engulfed in a wave of religious frenzy in the form of worst communal violence. India is birthplace of many religions, so the state does not interfere in the religious matter. Our constitutional expert had clearly observed the example of various countries in the world where discrimination and persecution were done on the basis of religion. Our constitutional expert felt that these discrimination could take place when a particular religion was given official status over the other religion. मतलब हमारे जो constitutional expert थे उनने दूसरे constitution में दूसरी countries के सिस्टम देखे थे कि जहाँ रिलीजन को इम्पोर्टेंस दी जाती है। तो हमारे कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल एक्सपर्ट्स को ये सारी चीज़ें अपनी कंट्री में नहीं लानी थी, डिस्क्रिमिनेशन धर्म के नाम पे नहीं लाना था। सो दे डिसाइडेड नॉट टू गिव स्टेट द पावर टू डिस्क्रिमिनेट अगेंस्ट इट्स सिटीजन ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ देयर रिलीजन। मोर ओवर दे हैंडेड ओवर द रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी ऑफ प्रोटेक्टिंग द माइनॉरिटीज इन टू द हैंड्स ऑफ द गवर्नमेंट. This secularism, right to freedom of religion, is in Article 25 to 28. There are 4 articles, means right to freedom of religion. So Article 25, what is in the Article 25? Article 25 say that right to profess, propagate and practice religions. हमें ये अधिकार है कि हम कोई भी धर्म चुन सकते हैं, हम किसी भी धर्म की पूजा कर सकते हैं, बट रिस्ट्रिक्शंस आल्सो कैन बी इम्पोज बाय द स्टेट इन द इंटरेस्ट ऑफ पब्लिक हेल्थ एंड ऑर्डर. लेकिन रिस्ट्रिक्शंस सरकार की तरफ से हो सकते हैं अगर कुछ भी समाज में ऐसा हुआ जो कि समाज के खिलाफ है. अगर हमें पूजा का अधिकार है, धर्म का अधिकार है, लेकिन हमसे ऐसा कुछ ना हो जाए कि हमारे आसपास किसी को नुकसान हो रहा हो. जैसे हम एक एग्जाम्पल देते हैं, गौ हत्या, ये धर्म में नहीं है, ये अच्छी बात नहीं है, तो गवर्नमेंट इसको रिस्ट्रिक्शन इस पे लगाएगी. नेक्स्ट, आर्टिकल 26. आर्टिकल 26 it guarantees the right to establish and maintain institution for religious and charitable purposes, but it is subjected to public morality and health. Means ये religious group के लिए है कि ये मिलता है रिलीजियस ग्रुप को. किसी व्यक्ति या किसी ट्रस्ट के द्वारा हम कोई भी रिलीजियस ग्रुप बना सकते हैं, बट गवर्नमेंट इसको प्रोहिबिट कर सकती है, रिस्ट्रिक्शन लगा सकती है. अगर कुछ भी सोसाइटी के खिलाफ कुछ हुआ तो इसमें रिस्ट्रिक्शन भी लग सकता है. नेक्स्ट, आर्टिकल 27. It is stated that no taxes shall be levied on any religion. Means टैक्स नहीं, ये टैक्स में छूट मिलती है 27 में कि कोई भी धार्मिक एक्टिविटीज़ है तो टैक्स में छूट मिलेगी, लेकिन फीस में नहीं मिलेगी, फीस में छूट नहीं मिलती है. आर्टिकल 27 ये बोलता है. एंड लास्ट, आर्टिकल 28. इट इज स्टेट दैट नो रिलीजियस इंस्ट्रक्शन शैल बी प्रोपोगेटेड इन एनी एजुकेशनल इंस्टीट्यूशन. आर्टिकल 28 ये बताता है कि किसी भी गवर्नमेंट इंस्टीट्यूशन में, गवर्नमेंट स्कूल्स में कहीं भी कोई ज़बरदस्ती के धर्म की बातें नहीं की जा सकती हैं. अगर किसी का मन नहीं है तो हम ज़बरदस्ती कोई भी धार्मिक काम नहीं कर सकते हैं. बट रिलीजियस ग्रुप के द्वारा अगर कोई स्कूल चलाया जा रहा है तो वहाँ ये कर सकते हैं. तो फ्रॉम आर्टिकल 25 to 28 we see right freedom of religion. Now last topic, uplifting the marginalized communities. Marginalized communities. What is marginalized communities? These communities are mainly economical weaker and socially backward section of the societies. These peoples were ignored from many years due to several reasons. However, after independence, the Indian government adopted the goal of social justice and took strong measures to improve their condition. There are many measures took by our government. So first, Article 17. Article 17, what Article 17 said? Article 17 said that untouchability is abolished and its practice in any form is forbidden. Means Article 17 untouchability को रोकता है. It is punishable offense also. Article 17. Next, Article 46. Article 46 what said? That government shall take care of the educational and economic interest of the weaker section of the society, especially of the marginalized groups. Next, in government jobs also some posts are reserved for SCs, STs and OBC. Next, in educational institutions also seats reserved for these weaker sections. Coaching and training for various competitive exams is provided free to these weaker sections of society. A national commission for SC and STs has been set up to safeguard their rights. And various scholarship programs have been launched for the SCs and STs students. And last, no person of marginalized communities can be prevented from entering hotel, temples or any other public place. In this way, our chapter is completed. After this lecture, you will read all important point of this chapter. Again, I underline all point. Then you write question, answer and exercise in your fair copy. Thank you.